Welcome to Backstage with Richard Ridge. I'm back at Sardi's, and my guest is one of Broadway's loveliest leading ladies. You know her from such shows as Wicked, 9 to 5, from the television series Smash. Well, now she is back on the boards in Roundabout Theater Company's hilarious new production of Noises Off. Please welcome Megan Hilty.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please take your seats? The curtain will rise in 1 minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please take your seats? The performance is about to begin!
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please take your seats? The curtain will rise at any moment.
Hi there.
Hi!
How much fun are you having living in the zany world of Noises Off?
I'm having way too much fun. Too much fun to call it work. Well, okay, wait. It is work in the sense that, like, it's mentally exhausting. And physically, too. We're all covered in bruises that we have no idea where they come from, but it has to be from the show.
You had seen the London production, but you never thought you would do this show, right?
Never. Yeah, I saw it several years ago. Yeah. I didn't see myself in any of the roles. You know, I always thought that I would never be the actor that performed in very little clothing. So much so that I got a giant tattoo on my back. Like, I was like, oh, I'm never going to have to cover this up because nobody's going to want to see me with my clothes off. So that's great. But I was proven wrong with this show.
Brooke Ashton, you're so good as her.
Oh, thanks.
Is she fun to play?
Yeah, she's amazing. It was really fun, like, creating this role because, you know, this role has been iconic for, 35 years now?
Sure.
And so it's been very well established. So I was just trying to think what I could do with it to make it a little different. But, of course, staying in the vein, you can't wander too much from that perfectly written character. So.
But I love the way you give her that look and just the way you walk in your heels and stuff. I mean, just was that like the final thing? I mean, what was the final thing when you're like, I have her now. I think I'm on board with her.
I still don't think I have her.
Oh,
I think
you do.
I think if I ever walk off stage going, I nailed that, I think that's a bad sign. Then why come to the theater the next night? You know, like there's always something to work on. But no, I was really interested in her because I found it fascinating that, especially in the third act, she does her lines as written, no matter what her scene partner is saying. She does not roll with the punches. She does not go with the flow and like do the yes and that everybody needs to do with the improv and everything. And so I was thinking, why does she do that? I have to come up with a reason. Instead of just saying, oh, she's dumb. You know, that you can't play that. Yeah. So I looked at her bio. You know, Michael Frayn puts all the actors' bios in the playbill, and I noticed that she's never spoken in anything before. And so I thought, okay, so how does somebody who hasn't learned lines before learn lines? And I remembered this, stop me if I'm talking too much. I remember this interview that Will Smith did about the pilot episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Yeah. Did you ever see that? He's mouthing everybody's lines along with them. And we've all seen actors do that. Or we've been that actor and just not known it. And in this interview, he was like, oh, I'd never memorized lines before. I didn't know what to do, so I memorized everybody's lines. And so I knew what they were going to say. And I thought, well, maybe Brooke does that too. You know, and she's just not listening to see if you're saying them, but she knows that once you're done moving your mouth, it's time to speak. It's time for the next line. And every line has a gesture so she can remember it. I think she's some people could say that she's not very bright, but I say that she's just trying really, really hard to be good. You know, she's a stripper and a cocktail waitress amongst all of these amazing actors, so she's just trying to be taken seriously.
You know, you went back to, like, you do most of the play in designer lingerie underwear. So you had just had a baby, you signed on to this, where you're like, oh my God, I'm going to be standing on stage in, you know, practically nothing.
Well, when I had my first meeting about this, it was actually like 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
No baby, nothing,
Yeah.
planned then. And then I got the phone call, gosh, I guess like a year ago, saying, if you're free next year. And I just had the baby, and I thought, well, what better motivation to shed the baby weight than to know that thousands of people are going to see you running around.
Bag. What do you mean bag? Bag. Sardines! 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 What bag?
No bag.
No bag.
Your bag. Suddenly here, now gone.
It's in the bedroom. It was in the bedroom. I put it in the bedroom. I'll put it back in the bedroom.
Now don't go in there.
The box!
The box?
They've both not gone. Where is Mrs. Spratchett? You? Wait in the bedroom.
No.
Well, let's put your dress on.
I'm not going in there.
I'll fetch it for you. I'll fetch it for you.
Yes, quick. Let's get out of here.
Your dress has gone.
I'm never going to see Basingstoke again.
Don't panic.
All right, Jeremy Herring, your director, did he want you all off the book the first rehearsal?
That's what he asked.
Were you all
Yeah.
off?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we came ready to go, which was really hard to do for this show, because so much of it, of the lines are linked to action. So I hired someone to help me learn my lines, and it was very, very hard to learn it in this little vacuum.
Yeah.
Because it's such an ensemble piece too. It's not like you have these train of thought scenes where it's just two people back and forth, where it's
Sure.
easy to follow. There's a lot of stuff going on. And so without being in rehearsal and knowing exactly, I mean, you can read it, of course, but I don't know. It was very hard to get off book before.
Yeah. And the other thing is, this is a show where everything goes wrong.
Yeah.
Yet you're trained as an actress to make sure everything goes right. So
Yes,
what were all
within
your
that, yeah.
mindsets like that first day of
Terrified.
rehearsal?
We're all terrified. We did the first table read, and I don't know if you've seen the play, like how it's written out, but that second act is terrifying when you look at it on the page, because each page has 2 columns, and the left column is all the action, and the right column is the words that are being spoken upstage, on stage, and the action has to link up with what's happening up there, because we have entrances, and so in the table read, the director and the assistant director read them at the same time, and we were, all of us, like you could just see everybody's minds
exploding,
going, what have we signed up for? But
It's really wonderful to watch. It's such a great afternoon, a great evening at the theater.
thank you.
So, staying on the vein of Noises Off, craziest thing that's gone on that wasn't supposed to happen in a real performance of Noises Off.
Oh,
Anything crazy happen?
gosh, a lot of stuff. For myself, like I have a lot of cues off stage.
Yeah.
So even when you don't see me, I have to do things backstage, and it's like, and I have to get them in the right order. And if your mind wanders for a second, you've already missed your next cue. And then you think, oh my gosh, by missing that, then the other things don't make sense. And now you've missed another thing. Like you have to be so in the moment. And there's 3 things while I'm in the linen closet. I open it once so that he can close it.
Yeah.
And then I keep my eyes on Kate Jennings Grant, who has an entrance. And then I'm supposed to open the door so she can close it. And then I knock on the door with a knocker. So those are my 3 things in the linen closet. And I opened it so that he could close it, the first one. I nailed that one. And then I looked at Kate and I was like, hey girl, what's going on? And then she went on and I grabbed the knocker to knock, but that's my 3rd cue. So I didn't open it for her. And then I saw my cue light go off, but I had the knocker in my hand. And then I dropped it and had to open it, but she'd already left. It's just things like that happen all the time. Like,
But everyone's had that in the show, right?
Everybody's had
Yeah.
it, yeah. Yeah, people have missed entrances, which is
Yeah.
crazy. I don't think the audience would really
Yeah.
know, though, because it's just
And it must be great when someone
Chaos.
else has done it. Like, I'm not the only one.
exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
I want to go back to the beginning. Where did your love for performing begin, and what were your early creative outlets growing up?
Well, I wanted to be a singer first. I was always singing around the
Yeah.
house. My parents, I always tell this story. I hope my mom's not getting mad at me for telling this over and over again, but she would never sing to me when I was little because she read this article. It was this Japanese study that she'd read saying that tone-deaf mothers shouldn't sing to their children because then they'll be tone-deaf too. So she was terrified. She was like, can't carry a tune in a basket, so I'm not going to sing to this kid, not even, no matter how much she begs. And the more she resisted, the more obsessed I became with it. So she would sit me down in front of the record player, tape player, you know, and play all kinds of different music for me.
Real singers.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I sang along with them my whole childhood. And, yeah.
But you wanted to do opera right early on,
I
didn't
did.
you?
First, I wanted to be Whitney Houston. That didn't quite work out. And when people were like, "Oh, honey, that's not that's not going to happen for you." I started taking voice lessons, and my voice teacher steered me into the classical world, and I was obsessed. I'm from Seattle, and I became obsessed with the Seattle Opera and saw everything that played there.
So then what was the defining moment when you said, I want to go like to Broadway or be a musical theater actress?
You know what it was? My mom took me to see Jekyll and Hyde. It was a touring production. It came through Seattle, and I saw that, and I was so excited and so moved. And I remember thinking, I want to make people feel like this. It wasn't like, oh, I want to sing high notes like that, or I want to. It was like, oh no, I want to keep this going and make other people feel this excited. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I remember it very specifically. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to talk about some of the highlights of your career. And just tell me what comes to mind, a story or a favorite memory, okay?
Great, okay.
Okay, Broadway debut in the phenomenon known as Wicked. You have a big history with Wicked.
Yeah, I spent 4.5 years with the company. Yeah, and I came into the company right after Kristen Chenoweth left. I was the standby for Jennifer Lord Thompson, and gosh, that must have been like 10 months after the show opened.
Wow.
So
really caught up in the hysteria of Wicked.
And I just graduated from college. I was terrified because of course I'd seen Kristen and how she was a genius. Like they had me see the show before I auditioned, and I saw it, and I was like, nobody can play this after her. What am I doing here? And so I ended up getting the standby, and it took a couple months for me to go on. But my first
go ahead. Tell me.
My first Elphaba was Idina Menzel, and she was the most like loving and like just generous scene partner as you could imagine. You know, she just won her Tony for the role, so she could have come in and said like, well, I need you to stand here, you know, when you say this, and I need you to do this like this because that's what I'm used to. And she would have been within her right to do that, but she didn't. She came in and she was like, you know what? Let's go out there and make this show our own tonight. And I almost started crying because it was like, you're Idina Menzel, and you're amazing, and you just said the nicest thing to me. And she did. She made it so that I could breathe. You know, I made my Broadway debut as Glinda in Wicked. You know, it was crazy and horrifying and literally a dream come true. It was everything all wrapped up into one.
Then you played Doralee in the Dolly Parton musical 9 to 5. Getting to know Dolly Parton, what was that like?
I mean, again, I was thrilled and horrified. I was like, I'm going to be doing, the reality set in that I was going to be doing her role that she made iconic and is essentially who she is in front of her every day. And luckily I started with readings and workshops and stuff, so it wasn't like, I didn't have the job. So there wasn't too much pressure, but man, and she is the nicest person on the planet. So she put everybody at ease from day one.
I'm just a backwoods Barbie in a push-up bra and heels. I might look artificial, but where it counts I'm real. Yes, I can see where I could be misjudged upon first glance, but even backwoods Barbies deserve a second chance.
Judy, we have lunch reservations.
Sorry. All dolled up and hoping for a chance to prove my worth. 'Cause even backwards Barbies get their feelings hurt.
And then there's this little show called Smash.
Looking back on the few things that I've done, I've noticed a pattern. Anything that somebody else has made super famous and has been super successful with it already, sure, I'll take it on and be an idiot and like just know that I'm not going to compare to them at all and just try to make it, I don't know, watchable.
You were so wonderful in that as Ivy and playing Marilyn.
Well, it was great because I did have Ivy to hide behind. It's not like I was trying. I was playing a character who was playing Marilyn Monroe, so I always had her to.
What did you love the most about doing Smash? You just have so many incredible memories from that whole time period.
Yeah, it's all the friends that I made and that amazing music that I got to sing, and I got to be the first to voice it.
Yeah.
That was such an honor.
And they would write something in the afternoon practically, and then you would do this incredible number you'd shoot.
People don't understand their genius. I mean, they do, but they don't. I don't think anybody knows how quickly that genius appears and how easily they turn that incredible music out.
I jumped all of the hurdles to break out of the pack. I started on the outside and then hit the inside track. I left the other fillies back at the starting gate. Was ready on my mark. I got to set to hurry up and wait. So talent and ambition won me a chance to shine. I aced the big audition, but it's raining on cloud nine. Can't beat the competition, 'cause they just keep moving the line.
You did Gentlemen for Blondes.
Yes.
For encores. I mean, another iconic role, Lorelei Lee.
Well, and not just from Marilyn's version on film, but Carol Channing originally made us famous on stage. Two completely different performances, and the stage show is different from the movie. But I wanted to kind of find some place in the middle between Carol and Marilyn.
Yeah.
If I can I call them Carol and Marilyn?
Yes, you
I don't
can.
know. Ms. Channing and Ms. Monroe. I said that like we're old friends. But yeah, I tried to find some kind of middle ground, funny and.
Oh, you did. You made her your own.
Yeah.
Was she fun to work on?
So much fun. It is my dream. It's not even a secret dream. I shout it from the rooftops. I'm still hoping that we can bring it to Broadway someday.
There may come a time when a lass needs a lawyer, but diamonds are a girl's best friend. There may come a time when a hard-boiled employer thinks you're awful nice, but get that ice or else no dice. He's your guy when stocks go high, but beware when they start to descend. It's then that those louses go back to their spouses. Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
And then Annie Oakley in Annie Get Your Gun.
Yeah, that was insane. That was insane because that was the gala night. We were supposed to just stand there. Yeah. But oh no, it was a full encores production with half the time. Yeah, I had a panic attack in the middle.
Did you?
I did, because I was like, I thought we were just standing and singing. Nope. Okay, yeah, because I had like 17 songs or something silly like that.
So that was even a quicker rehearsal period than
half
Gentlemen
the time.
was.
Yes, half the time. Yeah.
So where do you put your mindset? It's like, here I am taking on Annie Oakley.
The trick is,
Yeah.
you don't think.
Yeah.
You don't give yourself time to think about anything. You just do it. Yeah.
Sensational. You and Andy Carl.
I love him so much, and we got to work together on 9 to 5. So
it must be
my
really
buddies
good when
are-
you have someone else go in the trenches with you. Like,
Yeah.
we're doing a gala. We had 7 hours of rehearsal.
Yeah, it was insane. It was insane for a full production. And to get your gun, but it turned out great.
It turned out wonderful.
Yeah, we had a great time.
Well, let's talk about family life.
Sure.
You are married to one of the nicest guys
I know.
and one of the most talented, Brian Gallagher,
know.
and you have this beautiful daughter.
Yes.
Talk about motherhood, family life, being married. What's it all like?
I never thought that would happen for me. Like from a very early age, I told my parents I was never getting married. I'm never having kids, and I felt that way up until about 4 years ago, and I met Brian Gallagher.
Yeah.
Eden Espinosa introduced us. Yeah, and neither of us were looking for a relationship at all, but we were like, wait a second, what's happening? And then it just made sense. Like nothing has ever made sense more in my life.
Yeah.
You know, and when we decided to get married, we just we looked at each other and we were like, we need to be married, right? We can't be boyfriend and girlfriend anymore. This is kind of silly that we're calling each other that. And then we were like, well, we don't want to be engaged. We want to be married, like right now. Like, we need to do this now. It wasn't this like big grand romantic thing. And so we were out in LA, and I was doing a short-lived sitcom out there, and so I had a hiatus like the next week. So we're like, we'll go to Vegas. We'll go to Vegas next week. We'll tell our moms and dads and our siblings, and that's it. And then,
And then being a mom.
Yeah, to little Violet Philomena Gallagher.
I love her name.
Thank you. Yeah, Violet, because it's our favorite Shakespeare character from Twelfth Night.
Love it.
Very strong.
Yeah.
And we both love Shakespeare in love. But she's a very strong character, and she's a strong little girl, so she's gonna live up to her.
How old is she now?
Year and a half.
Okay, so you two.
I almost gave you the months, but that's kind of obnoxious.
So
yeah.
Or the hours.
Yeah, and the hours, and yeah.
I love your CD.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It happens all the time.
Yeah.
Right? And then you're on Brian's new CD.
Yes. Yeah.
Which
Which
is
doing
called?
great.
I have it here, right?
Well, he's got 2 new ones coming out.
All That's Ahead.
All That's Ahead. Yeah.
And then he has
'Cause I was
another
thinking
one.
Brownstone.
Yeah.
He's
got a few of them.
A bunch of them.
Yeah.
And I've got a new album coming out. It's the recordings that I've done at the Cafe Carlisle. So they're
Fabulous.
live. Yeah. And it turned out so great. I'm so excited. And everybody at the Carlisle
Wonderful.
has been so great. They let us do a big photo shoot there and stuff for all the artwork. I'm really, really excited because we're going back there in May. I don't.
It's all
Again,
in it.
I've been
Yeah.
telling people.
Oh, just, it
I
only
don't think
stays.
they've announced
It only
but
stays with
yeah.
millions of fans at Broadway World.
Yeah, it's
They're
no
gonna
big
know
deal.
anyway.
It's no big deal. I need
Go
you to come
see her at the
see
Cafe
it.
Carlisle.
Yeah.
Buy her new CD also.
Yeah.
Buy all their CDs.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. I think this next concert is going to be a Rosemary Clooney concert.
Great.
Yeah, I just did a symphony
Yeah.
concert out in Cincinnati that was a
Yeah.
Rosemary Clooney tribute, and I love her so much, and I didn't want it to end there, so I think.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, I think this
Well,
is going to be.
tell me what it's like doing concerts and recording. What gives you the most artistic satisfaction? Because you tour the country with your husband, you perform together now. What do you love about the intimacy and doing that?
I love doing those concerts, and I have to be honest. The idea of doing those in the beginning made me want to just run screaming from the building. Like I just thought, what do I have to say? I don't, I don't have a story, and everything needs to. I don't want to deal with that. And then my manager said, no, they need to just leave there feeling like they got to know you. And once she said that made sense to me. I was like, oh, I don't have to have like this script saying, when I was 5, this song made me feel like, I don't have to do that. Because that's not me. Some people, that's them, and that's honest. But for me, it's not. So
It's like musical therapy they take you through.
I can't, which is great, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
But for me, I can't do that and be myself.
Yeah.
So, and so we figured out how to, I don't know. Our band is amazing. It's made up of my husband, Brian Gallagher, Matt Cuson, who is an incredible singer-songwriter and piano player, doesn't read a note of music, which is thrilling because that means every time we do a song, it's a little different. Wow. It's never quite the same. We're the 3 of us. I mean, the whole band we're all in tune with each other, but we're all kind of, I don't know, making it right in front of
Sure.
you. Yeah, we have such a great time, and they both have microphones that are on the whole time. So if I start doing something that is silly, they'll call me out on it. You know, we wanted it to feel like you're in our living room.
Yeah, sure.
You know, because that's what it's like when we're rehearsing in our living room, and we thought that would be much more entertaining than me trying to tell you what to think about me.
I have to talk about one of your obsessions, Nespresso.
We could spend the whole hour talking about Nespresso.
It's like, oh my gosh.
And my obsession, yeah. I drink way too much of it, yeah.
So wait, you have one at home.
Mm-hmm.
You
A
have
giant one.
Okay,
A
giant
giant-
espresso. Okay.
yeah.
Are those the little things you put in?
Mm-hmm, the little pods. But
Okay, all right.
I know it sounds like it's like very
Yeah.
wasteful to use the pods, but they have this amazing recycling program where they send you UPS bags
Yeah.
and you fill them up and you just send them back, and they compost the grounds,
Sure.
and then they recycle the pods.
So that's your big go-to.
At least they tell you
Yeah.
that, so you feel better.
Oh, I'm
about
sure
yourself.
they do.
Yeah.
But that's your big go-to, like Nespresso is my life.
Absolutely. I bought an
Yeah.
espresso machine for my dressing room. Well, because I knew it was going to be winter time and I wouldn't want to leave
Yeah.
the building, and it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
than
that's
going out.
no wonder why everyone has so much adrenaline on stage. Does everybody like stop by your dressing room and say, "Can I have an espresso?"
That's really the big reason why I had one in my dressing room. It was so that I would make friends. This is how I make friends. I bribe them with sugar and caffeine, and my room has turned into the coffee house of
That's the secret. It's coffee and
It is.
sugar at the
That's
theater,
it.
right?
Yeah, I am everybody's best friend.
Do you have specific flavors you like? Do they make different flavors?
I do. Well, I make lattes for everybody, and I
Okay.
do it with almond milk, and like I have vanilla and coconut and all these little things, and yeah.
So little chits are on your door. Kate wants this. Andrew,
Oh
will
no,
have
I
this.
know what they want. I know when they pop their head in, I know what they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you could sum up the best part of the experience of being in Noises Off, because you're coming into like the last hurdle of the show now, right?
Yeah.
What's been the best part of the experience for you?
Oh man. Again, I've made some like really
Yeah.
lifelong friends doing this show that I'm so grateful for, and I feel like being a part of this show, like we're a part of this legacy somehow. You know, it's been it's one of those perfect plays that's been around for 35 years now, and we got to do it. You know, we're I don't know, we're in this fun little club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My final question is, what is the best bit of advice that you've been given that you live by?
Be nice to everyone you work with. That's it.
That's a good one.
There are a lot of extremely talented people out
Yeah.
there, but it doesn't matter if you're not nice to everybody that you're working with.
I love your philosophy.
Thanks.
That is so, thanks for sitting with me
Absolutely.
today.
Thanks
How much
for
fun
having
was
me.
this?
Oh my gosh, we're at Sardi's. This is so fancy.
I love you.
Thank
Get over
I love
here.
it. Mwah.